Hello, everybody. All right. So happy hump day, everybody. Today is Wednesday, November the 15th, 2022. So I hope everybody's having a good day today. Um, oh boy, okay. Anyways, so of course, we're going to give it a few minutes, give people a chance to come in before we get started. As always, if you haven't already, if you can share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything we talk about tonight grabs your attention, feel free to feel free to feel free to comment and or ask questions. I will try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. Um, so, programming note for the next couple weeks here, of course. Um, so next week we're only going to be broadcasting up through Wednesday, as of course, as you all know, next Thursday is Thanksgiving, and then of course, I prefer calling it Thanksgiving Friday as it's part of the Thanksgiving weekend. I know a lot of people call it Black Friday, because of all the sales and stuff going on. Um, so with that, let's see. With that, as we are, of course, we're just waiting for more people to come in. So with that, so for the next couple weeks, like tonight, we're gonna do it partly because, of course, slow news cycle. Normally, I would do this particular article on Thursday because a lot of times we're never completely sure if it's ready for the show by Wednesday. So tonight, so I might as well just go into what we're gonna do tonight and then explain. So tonight, what we're gonna do. We're gonna go over the indie comic showcase on from Bleeding Fool. Go over what they were covering this week. Go through the article and all that. Um, Again, a programming note this week and most likely next week as well. We'll probably do the indie comic showcase on Wednesday when it actually gets put up. Not obviously next week we wouldn't be doing it, doing it on Thursday because of Thanksgiving. But this week, I figured we might as well, since it does seem like a slow news cycle right now for the for niche right now. Even though we're coming off of a big story that was out for a couple weeks here that we had been covering, but it looks like things have finally started to calm down from that. So that was, of course, the Wendy Lee story, the whole Bleach, voice casting story and all that. We were covering that for a couple weeks there. But with that, let's see, we're at the 4 minute mark. So yeah, tonight we're gonna go over the indie comic showcase. Get you guys kind of caught up with what's going on there. We'll of course have the wrestling wrap up a little later, as well as this day in each history. So now we're at 4.5 minutes now. Let's see. One last friendly reminder, of course, if you guys can like and share. If you guys haven't already, if you can like and share the stream, see if we get some more friendly people in here. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and I will try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. So, with all that being said, why don't we go ahead and get started then? So we're going to start off with the one article we're doing tonight, which comes to us from Bleeding Fool. Um, So this week's Indie Comic Showcase we're going to go over. I know one of these comics was actually also showcased on RJ's show. I think it was last night, the Voluntarian. So here we go. Indie Comic Showcase number 248. Voluntarist, the Steins, and the Amazing Redbeat. Article by Chris Braley, published today. So here we go. Welcome back to another installment of Indie Comic Showcase, the weekly blog where we signal boost a few truly independent comics that are currently crowdfunding their projects, crowdsourcing their funding in some way, or just completely self-publishing on their own. Every little bit of support for these creators matters, from a single dollar pledge to the $25 bundle. And of course, the higher tiers are usually fun too. Even if you can't back a campaign or buy a book, you can share or tweet about these projects to your friends and followers. You know, the idea is we like to share things out to people to where they'll get the word out. You know, it might not be a particular campaign might not be your cup of tea, but maybe you know somebody who might be interested in that particular campaign. Doesn't hurt to share it, you know, and then as the song goes, "Que sera, sera," right? Old Doris Day song. So let's see if anybody's saying anything yet here. Nope. All right. Well, we'll continue on then here. Well, anyways, on Indie Comic Showcase, we interview the creators, show off some art, and tell you how you can check out product for yourself. Below, we have some outstanding crowdfunding campaigns this week for you to learn about, enjoy, and hopefully support by backing one or more of them. Thanks for checking these out and for being the best part of Indie Comic Showcase. Let's jump in. All right, so Voluntarist Suit Saga 1 by Jack Lloyd. Now, as I understand it, I think Jack Lloyd was just on RJ's show, not on Critical Blast last night. So, it looks like we have a couple of links we can share here. I will do that here in a moment here. So for this particular campaign, see that. Yeah, before I do that, actually. All right, so I'm just double check, make sure here. All right, just the Voluntarist Suit. Alright, so there we go with that. And then I think there was another link as well. Let me go grab that one as well. Actually, before I even do that, let me once again set the thing up. just getting the. So yeah, so they've got both. He's got both a Kickstarter and a Fund My Comic. Um, Fund My Comic campaign going on here. So the first one was, of course, for the Fund My Comic. This one's for the Kickstarter. So check out either site to check out the book in question here. If you guys want to check those out to see if you can help out the campaign. Anyways, all right. So now that we got that part out of the way here, yeah, well, so there's the that's the Fund My Comic campaign, and here's the Kickstarter campaign. So, let me see if I can edit that one. All right. But yes, I can edit that. Okay. I was hoping to edit it to where to separate the link from the thing a little bit more, but that's okay as long as you can still hook to it. That's all that matters. Anyways, let's get into the article here. Um, Chris Braley, welcome to Indie Comics Showcase. Jack, briefly tell us the elevator pitch for your comic. Jack Lloyd, voluntarist, is a tale of a superhuman hero who finds himself pitted against the government as the government tries to enslave humanity once and for all. He is a young man with extraordinary powers created through a chance encounter with cosmic radiation. His personal mission is to rescue his parents from government agents, but that objective is often frustrated with the likes of giant monsters, supervillains, and even the deep state. Chris, what inspired this comic? Jack, I wanted to make a comic book series that drove at the question, quote, what does it mean to be truly free, unquote. I started this as a movie script in 2012, and then it evolved into a comic book concept. I wanted to self publish because I knew that my content would not fit the industry Overton window even 10 plus years ago. I worked diligently at prototyping it, coming up with Futureverse concepts, and then rolled that work into a canon Origins arc that just recently completed a 192-page trade paperback. I am to be the number one comic book series for Liberty. All right, that's an interesting statement to be making. Hmm. So let's continue on. Here's some of the art from that book, of course. Chris, who is your target audience? Jack, it's aimed toward mature teen plus due to language and graphic violence. The themes touch on relevant topics of our times, so there's quite a bit of depth to the plot, similar to what you might find with Watchmen of V Vendetta's use of culture contemporary to their writings. Chris, tell me a bit about your style and the creative process and how you develop them. Jack, I write the scripts and then pull together various reference items to take to my art team. We flesh out the panels together and then eventually get the pencils, inks, and colors down. I finish it off with lettering and then do an editing review with my editor, the philosopher. So his editor is named the philosopher, huh? I wonder if his editor's name is Philosopher Stone. Wouldn't that be something? Yes, Mr. Philosopher Stone, is it? Right? uh, hmm, that would be quite interesting. Let me see. Now let's see if we have any. No, I guess nobody's still coming in. But okay. Anyways, getting ready to continue the article here. All right. Chris, talk about your creative team that contributed to this project. Jack, my primary artist is Dickie M. My colorist is Ernest C. My cover artist is Amy M. They hail from Indonesia and the Philippines and Ireland, respectively. Hmm. We're quite an international group. Hmm. All right. Well, maybe he just thinks that the names would be too hard to pronounce. That's why he just goes with the initial, I guess. Chris, what's your production workflow like? And if it's not complete, how far along is the book? Jack, we've completed most of the issue already. We're in the final stages of letters and are funding to get this book into print. Chris, what's been the biggest lesson you're learning from self-publishing? Jack, I learned so much as I had to do everything from scratch. Had no mentors or a comic art specific background. I simply took what I knew from the comics I enjoyed, in parentheses here, Invincible, The Boys, Watchmen, Amalgam, unparenthesed, and I learned through reading what makes for a compelling story. I made mistakes along the way and had to learn the hard way. The main thing was just keeping focused on growth and learning how to do the artwork, lettering, and production process better I think it's meant to say studied the greats and Lambot.com. Look at that. Very nice artwork there, huh? Anyways. Um, Chris, what are your plans beyond this book? Are there more stories to tell? Jack, the series is never ending and expandable. However, the timeline matters, and every plot matters cumulatively. Um, we won't be doing any multiverse rewrites to try to get more juice out of finished concepts. This makes it exciting because everything the reader reads matters to what takes place in future history. So he's actually trying to write a continuing saga here. That's that's something that's hasn't been tried for a while, right? In the mainstream comics, anyways. Chris, any special features in this book you'd like to mention? Jack, we have a holofoil exclusive variant cover on funmycomic.com and a limited edition Origins 2 cover variant on Indiegogo. So I guess it's Indiegogo, not not Kickstarter. I thought it was Kickstarter, but I guess it's Indiegogo instead. But Indiegogo and Fund My Comic, made by Ripaverse artist Igor Teixeira. Um, before he joined the Ripaverse full time, they're pretty incredible pieces, and both are limited prints. Chris, before we sign off, is there any last word you'd like to share? Jack, if you're tired of shallow plots, hackneyed tropes, and destructive rewrites out of Marvel and DC, then Voluntarist is going to be a refreshing journey for you that will make you fall in love with comic book writing again. It's a La Vigilante. Okay, I didn't see that in the opening part of this here. Maybe they had more than just the 3 books here, I guess. It's a La Vigilante by Alexander Garcia. There's an interesting site. La Vigilante, Katrina Milflores. So let's go. Oh, could this maybe be the I'm just looking. I'm moving ahead here real quick, only because I'm. All right. I guess the person we know of as James Lee, I guess, is utilizing the pseudonym Alexander Garcia for some reason. Sounds kind of goofy here. When I saw the Stein, I know that was James Lee who's writing that story. We've had James Lee on this channel before. Um, yeah, of course. Okay, so all right. So, anyways, we're gonna go ahead and La Vigilante by Alexander Garcia. We're gonna go ahead. It seems a little goofy here, but just go. All right. So, well, I guess we'll just do the interview and we'll just go over the interview and see how things go here. All right. So, all right. So this is La Vigilante from um from Alexander Garcia, albeit again I'm I'm a little taken aback by this, but anyways, I guess as we'll read through the article here, we'll figure out what's going on. All right, so Chris Braley, welcome to this week's Indie Comic Showcase. James, what's the pitch for? What's the pitch for? Um, Alexander Garcia or James Lee or whoever he wants. Um, a news anchor who masquerades as a vigilante unlocks a talent that transforms her into Mexican uh, Katrina with ghoulish abilities that will help her combat evil that has a stranglehold on her city. Um, Chris, where did the idea for this comic come from, and made you decide to self-publish it? Alexander, my Mexican American heritage and some of my favorite manga anime have been the driving forces behind my creativity. Um, the protagonist, Katrina Milflores, is a character inspired by my friend America Alvarez, a news anchor in Mexico. Um, After delving into the research on femicide and cases of missing women in Mexico, femicide, the killing of women, basically, for those of you who may not understand what that word means, I felt compelled to embark on this passion project. This marks the start of my advocacy for women's rights and against femicide and violence towards women. Chris, who is your target audience? Alexander, this is aimed for lovers of female heroes, a la Ghost in the Shell and Blood Plus. It is suited for comic readers of ages 13 plus. There are some mature elements. Uh, and this is, of course, a Fund My Comic article um, campaign. Chris, how would you describe your creative style? Alexander, um, my style is a mix of poetic writing and character driven story. This is a world builder of a book. The next three books basically write themselves. Um, this was developed very meticulously, paving the way for a lively world where the stakes grow ever higher um, and the characters are entangled in each other's lives so much that an action of one affects another. No one is safe in the story, and just like in the real world, justice does not always prevail. There are maps, character bios, reference sheets, and destiny webs developed to give depth to the story. This is a very creative project that has the potential of a major marketing um, campaign. The book will also have a play along music playlist. For this book, I have hired various artists to provide reference images and concept art. The principal artist, penciler, and colorist roles are still pending. If anybody else is saying anything about it, no, not yet. All right. Chris, it's not complete. How far along is the book? Alexander, so far the third draft is complete. It is being used as a reference for character concepts art. The next step for the script is currently in progress. It is being edited by a professional script writer. This will produce the final draft and will be ready to begin the preliminary artwork. um, pending the hiring of the artist. Let's see. I have learned that it can be extremely tedious when hiring someone and trusting them with your work. This is my passion project, and I want to be the best possible. I poured my heart and soul into script and want everything perfect when it comes to the artwork. Working with various artists, deciding on the direction I want this to go can be difficult as I try to express my vision to them. At the same time, I am the sole marketer of this project and need to spend my time on the side of things as well, which can sometimes impede the creative process. But ultimately, I believe there can be fluidity between the I think it's supposed to be them both. Let's see, Chris, tell me about some unique aspects of your campaign. Alexander, um, there are special features such as an official La Vigilante playlist, listening party invitation, T-shirts, stickers, and a hardcover copy of the book, as well as NFTs and pre-release availability. There is a silver, gold, platinum tier of funding. All right. Let's see. Chris says, "Good luck out, Alexander. Any final words?" Um, Alexander, again, this is my passion project. I have been working on since 2021, and after having a few peer review sessions, I and those that support me really believe at this project and what it can bring to the. All right. So basically, I think because what threw me off, first off, supposedly he was going to be interviewed. Supposedly, I guess he would, at least according to the headline, we are going to get the Steins from James Lee, but instead we got La Vigilante from Alexander Garcia. So I think there was some kind of misprint, miscommunicate, have you in this. Um, but anyway, so this is for Alexander Garcia's article here. See where are we at? See if anybody's come on. No, I guess not. Um, yeah, we're just past the half hour mark here at 33 minutes. Okay. If I go crazy, then will you still call me Superman? If I'm alive, then well, will you be there holding my hand? My super. All right. So, anyways, the Amazing Red Bee by Ron Tugger. Now, of course, there was a Red Bee character in the past from 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 Quality Comics, which eventually was bought up by DC. This is obviously a different character. I guess he's calling him the Amazing Red Bee. I guess as a way to get past the whole copyright thing. But anyways, let's go ahead and go grab. So this one is a Kickstarter. All right. This one looks like just started up. In fact, just says $43 among three backers here. So, anyways, I think it's actually one word from what I was seeing right there. Another way I guess they're trying to differentiate. All right, so here's the so this is for this particular comic, the Amazing Red Bee. If you guys want to check that out. Um, all right, so let's get into this. Chris Braley, welcome to Indie Comic Showcase, Ron. So this is just so you, again, well, this kind of The Amazing Red Bee by Ron Tucker. So, welcome to Indie Comic Showcase, Ron. Hit me with your elevator pitch for The Amazing Red Bee from Chris Braley. Ron Tucker. Red Bee is the hero of Hive City, bustling metropolis, when a new superhero who is bigger, faster, and stronger shows up. Where does that leave Red Bee? The Amazing Red Bee is a all ages comic about what it means to be super. Chris, tell me where the idea for this comic came from. Ron, the idea for this comic really came from memories growing up and now always being the fastest or the strongest. I've always been okay at stuff, but I was never the quote unquote all star. But that's okay. You don't have to be the all star to do the best you can, because even trying your best, it, I think it's supposed to be is, not it, is a good thing. I've wanted to self publish this story because while I love amazing comics um, with action and adventure that might be more quote unquote mature, I think there isn't enough all ages material, especially for kids who are in the middle grade age range, where those comics might be a little too much for them. All right. Chris, what kind of comic reader is this best suited for? Ron, why I do call this an all ages kids comic. If you grew up and liked Danger Mouse or Darkwing Duck, even you as an adult will like this. If you or your kids are a fan of books outright now, like Tiny Titans, Teen Titans Go, Hilo, Max Meow, and even Dogman, then this book will be perfect. So really trying to cater to the younger generation. There is what he's trying to do there. God, that's commendable. Chris, what is your process for creating comics? Ron, I'm I'm a one man band when it comes to the comic. I write and draw. When I'm working on the plot and structure, I usually write it down in a spiral notebook and sketch little thumbnails off the side of the pages. Um, from there, I snap a picture of the thumbnail and start working on the comic on my iPad using Procreate. Um, I like to have at least half of what I'm working on done before I even start telling people about it. The Amazing Red Bee #2 is 100% complete. Look at it. Zoom, Blue Beam, Sparkler. I mean, the color scheme here, you definitely the color scheme, some of the other artistic aspects in this book, um, you can tell that he is indeed trying to, basically, write and draw this book to be geared towards kids, towards well, maybe not kids, maybe middle schoolers, but but you get it. It's meant for a younger audience, obviously. Well, I think he didn't say middle school. He said middle age kid, which could be like third, fourth, fifth grade. So, um, Chris, so what have you been learning from self-publishing through this process? Ron, I've actually been self-publishing for the last 5 years. I have a young adult superhero novel series called High School Sidekick. That's on Amazon. With crowdfunding, I've learned it's good to stay in contact with backers and make sure you stay on schedule if your book isn't done already. Again, color scheme, style, it does look kind of familiar to some other comic universes. Of course, as a friendly reminder, if you haven't already, if you guys can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and/or ask questions. I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. Anyways, as we continue on here, excuse me for one moment. I have to get one thing I forgot to do. Hold on, just one moment. I'll put some music on while I take care of something. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Forgot to shut off my phone there, or turn the ringer off for a moment. So, anyways, getting back to this article here now. Let's continue on. What are your plans beyond this book? Um, Ron, that Chris asked. Ron answered, "The Amazing Red Bee #2 is actually part two of a three-part story for Red Bee. Issue 3 will be coming out early 2024. Other than that, I have plans for a totally different character who is a pirate in a crazy fantasy world." Wonder where he got the idea for that one. Anyways, um, Chris, anything else you would like to share with our readers before we sign off? Um, Ron, just thanks for taking the time and interest. All ages comics, especially in the indie and self-publishing space, has a big hill to climb. So any support I get is truly appreciated. Well, yeah, it's a lot harder to market to kids from because not like kids can actually go into retail store and find an independent comic. Um, so with that, let's see where we're at here, time wise. 44 minutes. So we're actually made some good time here. So, anyways, let me just kind of go back over real quick here to just remind everybody. So, our earlier articles, from the earlier parts of the articles that we read, um, here's the Fund My Comic page for Voluntarius Suit Saga 1. You guys want to check that out. Also, and here's the Indiegogo um, page for that. Check that out. Then we also have La Vigilante from Fund My Comics from Alexander Garcia. And we have The Amazing Red Bee, who's got a Kickstarter from Ron Tucker there. So we just covered. So let's see now. So with that, guess we'll move on to the wrestling wrap up. As of course tonight AEW is doing its Dynamite event from Toyota Arena in Ontario, California. We'll of course talk about that in a sec. But also in WWE news, as we're a little over a week away from, we're about 10 days away from the Survivor Series. As it states right now, the War Games match is set to be a 4-on-4 match between the 4 members of the Judgment Day of course, the WWE Unified Tag Team Champions Finn Balor and Damian Priest, NXT North American Champion Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonough to take on the foursome of WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins, former tag team champions Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso, and Sami Zayn. Now, there are rumors circulating that it's possible that it may end up becoming a 5-on-5 match in which Drew McIntyre, who just turned heel this past Monday, may team with the Judgment Day to take on the opposing team that I just mentioned with the returning Randy Orton. Now, again, it's all still speculation, so take it as that. But that's some of the things that are going on right now in the WWE as we prepare for. Also, Bianca Belair had come out and stated she wanted to have a dream match with Charlotte Flair, so we'll keep our eyes on that as well. On the AEW side of things, as they continue to work their way towards this weekend's Full Gear, on tonight's episode of Dynamite, and we of course go over the results of that tomorrow. You have the Blackpool Combat Club members of Jon Moxley and Wheeler Yuta taking on Hook and Orange Cassidy, as of course already signed for Full Gear. Of course, Orange Cassidy will be taking on be defending the international title against Jon Moxley there. In a match to secure the final spot in the 3-way match for the TBS title match, already signed for that, of course, is our Chris Statlander, the champion. She'll be defending against Julia Hart, and the winner of tonight's match between Sky Blue and Red Velvet. Samoa Joe will be taking on John Cruz. Commander and Penta El Zero Medio with Alex Abrahamontes in their corner will be taking on the Young Bucks as the Young Bucks continue to prepare for their upcoming match with the Golden Jets at Full Gear this Saturday as if they win. If the Young Bucks win, Golden Jets can never again team together. If the Golden Jets win, they get the title shot that the Young Bucks had earned at the last tag team gauntlet for the gold, I guess, whatever they call it, man. The Gun, Austin and Colton Gunn, with Juice Robinson in their corner in preparation for their upcoming shot at the Ring of Honor world titles against MJF and a partner of his choosing on the countdown show to the 0 hour to Full Gear. Will be taking on the team of Peter Avalon and Jacoby Watson. In the main event is a Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name, street fight, in which you have the team of basically the Golden Lovers line. You got Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, and Paul White teaming together to take on Brian Cage of the Mogul Embassy and the Don Callis family members of Inosuke Takeshita, Kyle Fletcher, and Powerhouse Hunt. Now, the only reason I would possibly think that Sammy Guevara is not involved in this match is he is a member of the Don Callis family is because he's probably at home with his wife Ty Mello, as she's been, of course, pregnant with their child. So, but that's all that's going on AEW tonight. So, let's see, where are we at now? Hey, Cement Shoes. I'm in this thing. Kind of got here a little late here, or actually almost done here. But in that, but with that, we're going to finish things off here by, of course, today being Wednesday, November 15th, 2023. So let's take a look back. This day in Nietzsche history. History! 1948, 1973, and then 1993. Okay. So without any further ado, let's take a look back at this day in Nietzsche history. Right, first off, I'm going to head back 75 years ago. And on this date, 75 years ago, the 30th issue of Submariner Comics from Marvel went on sale on this date back in 1948. It was a bi-monthly book, sold for 10 cents. 32 pages, had 2 Submariner features and Blonde Phantom feature. So on this date, back in 1948, 75 years ago today, the 30th issue of Submariner Comics went on sale on newsstands on this date. Moving on to the second, moving on to 50 years ago today. On this date, 50 years ago today, a week after winning the titles, Don Green and Bearcat Brown lost the Mid-America version of the NWA World Tag Team Championships to the Interns. So the Interns regained the Mid-America version of the NWA World Tag Team Championships from Bearcat Brown and Don Green 1 week after losing the title to them. So there we go with that one. And finally, on this date in 1993, on this date in 1993, Evelyn Venable, who was the voice and model for the Blue Fairy in Disney's 1940 in Disney's Pinocchio, 1940 film Pinocchio, passed away at the age of 80 on this date 30 years ago today. So on this date 30 years ago today, Evelyn Venable, who provided the voice and was the model for the Blue Fairy in Walt Disney's Pinocchio from 1940, passed away at the age of 80 on this date 30 years ago today. So with that, I thank everybody for being here tonight. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. Probably be going back to doing more Nietzsche News tomorrow. As I mentioned earlier, next week we'll only be broadcasting up to Wednesday. We'll be taking Thanksgiving night and Friday off. So this week, of course, we'll be back to doing regular news tomorrow. And then we'll, on Friday, Rick Piper will be joining me as we will be, we'll be going over, we'll be finishing up our coverage of December of 1939. Comics that went on sale from tomorrow, on Friday, we'll be looking at We'll be looking at books that went on sale from Standard Comics. And good night, Shoes. We'll be looking at Thrilling Comics Volume 1, Issue 1. So with that, I thank everybody for being here, and I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow. Bye.